All right. Hi, happy Sunday. This is my plans video. We're going to say May and June. That's just what I'm going to put in the title because we're going to be realistic here. We all know every time Michelle's like, I want to color all these. And then it turns out Michelle only colors like, she wants to color this much and she only colors this much. So, we're going to say this is May and June. And cross our fingers that it, if I could get through a third to half the stack in 2 months, I would be over the moon. So we're just going to keep optimistically planning and hoping one day it manifests into actual time and energy for such things. All right, so there are 3 tags going on right now, and I'll show them on the screen, but they are in the description as well. We have a new tag just for May, because May is my birthday month. I will be 44 on May 20th. And I figured let's just make it easy. And so it's Kits and Caboodles birthday cats. And it's just cats. It can be ghost cats. It can be regular cats. It can be cat-shaped objects. Basically, if you color it in Cattober and it looks like a cat or it actually is a cat, you can color it for this one. Because, of course, one of my favorite things in the world is cats. So let's make it easy. And for those of you who don't know, I mean, surely I would like to think the majority of people know, but because I named my channel Kits and Caboodles, my name is Michelle. If that wasn't clear in some other way, shape, or form, that is, Michelle's my actual name. So, but I figured Kits and Caboodles birthday cats would be 2025. It was on the screen, so I figured that would be a little easier to capture and keep up with. So I may just be coloring it by myself, but that's okay. I know I'm gonna at least get a couple of cats. And then the other 2 tags we have, hashtag Fave Coloring Book Artist 2025. That one's still going on. That one's big. Like, I have not had time to comment on everybody's pictures, and they are amazing. That is for your favorite independent publishing artist. So if they self-publish on Amazon, or they're like Joanna Bassford and they have an official publisher, but I'm asking to limit books from publishing companies, even if they have the artist name listed. So like no Mythographics, no Jade Summer, no Coco Wyo, no Creative Haven, and I love a lot of those, and it's no dig towards them. I'm just trying to show love for independent artists because it is so much difficult as an independent artist to make a name for yourself rather than building a brand under a publishing company. So that's kind of why that tag exists. And then we're going to talk about Deborah Muller. We have a project book. It is a very long tag, and I shouldn't have put a date, a year on the end of it, and I'll explain why in a minute, but this is our tag. Halloween All Year Long, Deb 2025. And what I'm doing is this book, Halloween All Year Long. I think I said Halloween All Year Long. This book is a project book I want to complete in 2 years and make it my first completed Deborah Muller book. This one has quite a few pages, so we'll be doing 2 a month that I just pick at the beginning of the month. And there'll probably be a couple months we have to do 3, but those haven't come up yet. And I'm posting it in her coloring group on Facebook and also on Instagram. So either place you can find these. And so I want to share the pictures we're doing for May. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. And then I'll share with you the one picture I didn't get done for April. So if you've been following along, and a couple of you actually are, and I love your pictures, by the way. I need to go comment on the ones for April. But so far we've done a devil, we've done an Easter bunny. This girl that's about to dig something up, I'm assuming. The cat's gonna tell her. We've done a horrific looking little Cupid. 3. We've done this cute little monster. Or we did this one for New Year's. 5. And then we did this one also, I think, in January. And then we did this one. I think that's all. Okay, so this is definitely my most colored in Deborah Muller book at this point. I color a lot of Deborah Muller, but she has a lot of books. So usually it's scattered amongst her books. But this is the first time I've really focused in on a project book. Now, the ones for May. That's one of the ones for April I'll show in a minute that I still have left to do, but we have 2. We are going to have, for Mother's Day, we will do this lovely Elvira looking lady with her little uneasy looking baby and whatever is coming out of this crib. Another baby, who knows. Make it whatever you want. Little blocks spelling out help is fun. And then, in honor, again, of my birthday, we're going to do this picture. So, and I might actually color this one in like a birthday. I would like to be optimistic, say a birthday live stream, but it's probably going to be a birthday color in chat. Let's be real. Now, I know there's some pictures I'm missing, like there's a prom picture in here, graduation day picture, but keep in mind this is a 2-year book, so I'm picking some pictures this year, and then there'll be pictures that will be picked in May of next year. So if you're wondering why I'm skipping certain pages, that's why. I'm just trying to keep a nice mix of specific time of year seasonal pages and then maybe like just a random page that could be any time of year. So there is that one if you are following along. And with this, if you don't want to do the whole project book, but there's a page in particular that you like that we're selecting that month, just color the one page if you want and post it to the tag. You don't have to be participating in the entire project book to show your love for Deborah Muller and this book. So just a little note there. So we're pretty much here at the beginning going to show you just all the pages. If you watched my completed pages video yesterday, pretty much all the books that I had are going to go back in the pile. This will probably be the main color by number book I work in because it's beautiful and it's a good one for this month. I do not like that. What is with my lighting today? I just don't like any of it. I don't like the bright. I don't like the yellow. I don't like the shine. Everything's just, it's cloudy and gray outside, and I think that's what's really throwing me off. There we go. Good enough. All right, that's a little better. Stained glass adorable cats. Senong, I'm going to continue coloring in this. I'm working back to front. I showed a couple of completed pages yesterday. I don't know how many I'll get done. It just really depends on how I feel. Typically, this will be done in the evenings if we're watching something on TV and I'm coloring in the living room. I do have to, because of my eyesight, I do have to make sure like I'm really looking at the numbers on these pictures because they're numbers and letters, but for the most part they're fairly easy to read in lower light. So I definitely want to get to this one, so I'm kind of hoping I do at least 2 over the next couple months. Bunny Days by Alexandra Franzese. I would like to get one more done in here before I kind of take a break from it because there's other books coming. Like actually Alexandra Franzese said her next book's going to be colored by number and it's coming soon. So, but I'm trying to get in at least a few of her books over the next month. But Bunny Days, I'd like to do one more picture. I'm thinking either this one with the little garden or this one, which is the cover one, because this is pretty much my vibe right now, but I don't know. We'll see. Might do 1, might do 2. Now, this is not an end-all be-all. There's probably in my completed pages going to be books that I'm not showing here that just either a new book got published or I saw a particular page and I got inspired. So this is not the end-all be-all, but this is what I'm thinking. Same thing here. This is just a work in if I want to put color on paper. book to finish, just very casual. My next one and this one is the giraffe. I'll get as many done in here as I get done. It could be one, it could be multiple. I think I have 11 pages left, and this would be my first Such and Such Diva book completed. Another Alexander Franzese, Spring Mandalas. I do want to do at least one more in here before we get into summer. It's either going to be the bees or the tulips. I have an idea based on that Bunny Days picture I showed in my completed pages of doing these as variegated tulips, like with some different colors in them to add a little bit extra to this page. So basically, if I have the time, I'll do this page. If I don't have the time, I'll probably just do this page. Leon's Journey. We are going to get Baron done. Poor little owl. This week, and then Tammy and I are going to decide on our next page. It might be the title page. It might be this page. It might be one other page in this book. It's really just looking at what our time's going to be like over the next few months and whether we can handle like a big page or if we need something like this where maybe we just do one or more of the images, like some of these smaller pictures. So we'll just have to see what our schedules look like over the next few months. I have this whip to finish by Moonlight Mischief by R.J. Hampson. I need to add pencils to this. I'm not sure which pencils I'm going to use. Probably either my Arctics, my Artisto, or my Chromaflows is what I'm thinking. So, I've used the Chromaflows a couple times, and I dig them. I'm trying to think, have I used them on an Amazon page yet? I don't think I have. So this might be a good test for those. I know Arctics does well, I know Artisto does well, so we might try the Chromaflows on this. And then of course adding metallics, glitter gel pens, glitter markers, gold, silver, you know, all the little extra bits and pieces. Fur balls, I actually would like, since I did the very first page, I don't think there's a title page in this one. I would like to actually just go ahead and start working my way through the book, even though I've done a page already in here. And I did want to show that to y'all because this is like one of my favorite pages I've ever colored. I just love it. It turned out so good. I think this was some kind of watercolor pencil, probably the super colors, and then the Arctics pencils on top. And it turned out so pretty. I want to do this one because I'm thinking it's fairly straightforward. Probably some sort of gel pens on the leaves, nothing. This is going to be a fairly simple page. The cats are fairly small, so maybe a little bit of just pencil. Might just do pencil work on her, maybe create a texture on the umbrella or her little skirt here. These I might do watercolor and pencil. I have a way I use ink to make these look like they have that rough brick texture. So I've got ideas there. It's just I'm not quite sure what to do with this white space. Like I'm thinking I want to turn this into like a sidewalk, and then I don't know. I don't want to get too intense with it because I want this to be a casual picture, but I don't really like just the white space here either. So we might just do blue up here like a watercolor with just a little bit of light pencil. I may just do some green grass and then like maybe a sidewalk or something. Just enough to give it a little bit of a background to it. But this shouldn't be a super intensive page. This should be relatively doable, and these are smaller books. So, all right, this one's getting real ambitious, y'all. I really want to start in dark fairy tales. I have neglected my Kirby Rosanna's books for a long time, and this was the one I was looking forward to, really forward to. As much as I was excited for Alien Worlds, it wasn't. It's a great book. It wasn't quite what I had in mind. I don't know what I was visualizing, but like, I don't like it as much as I thought I would, but I love this one. And I want to do this page. I'm thinking blacking out the background, or making it like just a dark gray. If I make these blackbirds, then we may just do like a dark gray or a purple. A purple would be very nice, especially because we've got yellow in her. We'll probably have yellow and like a gold color in her hair. So a purple, kind of nighttime purple, purple black would be pretty back here. Obviously we have green in the trees. These look like these might be like birch trees, so that might be just some white and browns. Then stonework. The one thing I like about Kirby's books is the way he shades and puts the line art in here, and he uses lines to emphasize like shading and stuff. It makes it really easy to know where to shade with a pencil if I want to go over that. So his pages actually are fairly easy to shade. I just have to do it, you know, and I'm not sure. Like I said, I've got to think on this one. This, a lot of times, this is what I'll do is I'll look at a page like this, and then I walk away for a couple of weeks and think about it and think about how I want to approach it. And so that's sometimes why it takes so long for me to do these pictures. Okay, I was just making sure this wasn't supposed to be a double page spread, but I think this is a follow-up to that where it's basically all her hair and some like thorns and ivy and stuff is what I'm thinking. So, but I really like this page, and I'd like to really start with like the title page and stuff, but I don't know. This one intimidates me. This one, just, and then this one, nah, I'm not ready to do that yet. That's a lot of little detail work. So we will try at least the beginning of summer. Like I said, if I could get this done by the end of June, and obviously pencil, probably some watercolor base. I might use some, I might try my distress crayons in here. I really like, when I've done these before, I've used gelatos, and gelatos do really well in this paper. Gelatos might be a good choice for a base. Those distressed crowns might be good to try. This is pretty smooth paper, so it may not leave a texture. I'll need to test it somewhere. But I would like to do some type of watercolor base because I don't want to do this all pencil background. Maybe even paint and then have some pencil on the edge. I don't know. And then the rest of it watercolor and pencil, but it's mostly just this big night sky. I want a quick way to do it that's not going to just wreck my shoulder and arm from doing so much pencil work. So that's where we're at there. I have all these paint pens now, and a lot of them I bought because in the Languile gel pens because I want to get back into these more. I want to do a Tome 10 picture. I think I have one I have one marked out that I was going to do, I think for like spicy cat colors one month. I actually have the black line art in. So we might actually try to do this page since I've already got usually the black lines I use a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen. But because it's India ink, it says it's waterproof, but I have found it to be a little smeary sometimes. But honestly, that has been the easiest thing to use. It gives me just a slight, this is the brush tip one. That works really well with the lines. So I at least want to do this one, maybe, and then do another one. I'm looking at getting Tome 11. I asked for it for my birthday. If I don't get it through that, I might try Lyrica, but we're going to see because I don't know how the tariffs are going to... I wonder if and how the tariffs will affect Lyrica, and it makes me kind of want to go ahead and order it, but... Oh, yeah, and then... Actually, I do have a page in here that I did in February. Or it was like a whip for a year that I finally finished. Alright, so... Due to personal challenge... I have a lot of books. This may come as a surprise to those of you who have seen all my flip through books videos, but I have a lot of books I haven't colored in yet. And so I kind of want to do a personal shelf challenge. And what that means is each shelf I need to pick one book from an artist that's on that shelf to color in for, like I said, this was a month challenge. This is going to be more like 2 months. And do a page in one of their books. And a lot of these are going to be artists I haven't, you haven't seen from me yet or in a long time. Fabia Antonio, I have a number of her fairy tale books that I think the majority of them are out of print right now. I am terrified to color in these books, probably for that very reason. I've been wanting to do this picture for a long time. I already know, like, I want red hair on her instead of blonde. I want greens. I don't know what I'm going to do with her fairy wings yet, but I figured let's just go ahead and do this page. And that will give me a page. I haven't colored in a lot of her fairy tale books, so this will give me one from her series. Either that one, or if I don't still feel like I'm not ready for that one yet, I was thinking this little bird picture from Snow White, maybe some gel pens or something, and then, a little bit of watercolor or pencil shading, and then maybe some pastel around it to border it. One or the other, or both, who knows? Yeah, I know, that's funny. Cute Guys Through the Ages. I have 2 of these books. They are by Avery something? Chain Avery. I have 2 of these, and they're fun. And I figured for this month, let's have some fun. And I think we're going to do this guy. Very, very Braveheart-esque. I think he'll be some fun. Very casual. Like, this is just going to be markers, a little bit of shading, probably a little bit of shiny. No, I'm not really going to introduce any textures in here or a lot of watercolor or do anything super intense. It's just mostly a casual marker picture. Joanna Bassford. I know you guys have not seen much out of me with Joanna Bassford lately, and I want to change that. We're going to get in the magical worlds, which I have not touched. I don't have a specific page in here. It could just be this, because I like this. It could be the nameplate page. It could be this page. It's probably not going to be one of the more elaborate pages in here. It's going to be a smaller one. Why does it feel like this book is already kind of yellowing some? It might be a couple of images from this page. It might be all of this. This one, I'm just not sure. It's really going to be what I have time for and what inspires me. I really want to get back into, I colored, a fair amount of Joanna Bassford early on, my first few years of coloring, and then they've kind of just sat there, and I hate that because this is probably my favorite Joanna Bassford book, honestly, other than Magical Jungle, because it's beautiful. So, got to get back into it. So that one's kind of up in the air. Don't know yet. I've got a lot of big ambitions these next few months. I have half a dozen mythographic books. I have not completed a mythographic picture. I couldn't tell you why, except I have a lot of ideas and I don't feel like I ever can get around to executing the ideas in these books. Plus, some of the pictures are just intimidating because they feel busy. This book, not as much. But some of these feel like really busy, and so I get overwhelmed. I love this picture, and I want to do this picture. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put this on here because at some point in the future, Paradise might be one of my favorite ones that I have. Like I said, this one doesn't feel as complicated as some of the others, but I get overly intimidated. Anyway, since for at least a year, if not more, I've wanted to do this page with the flamingos. I have thought about doing kind of an inverse thing, maybe making them green flamingos and pink flowers and black purple water and a blue sky or something. You know, I've thought about inverse colors for fun, and that might be what I do. So thinking about this one, I don't know why. These are, you know, single-sided pages. I can use markers in these. I don't know what the blocker is, but we got to get over that blocker because I don't want to get rid of these books. And so got to do that. Vacation miniatures. Again, just haven't had time. I have a ton of Camellia Andrikova books. I used to color in them regularly, got sidetracked with other books. I want to get back to them. I haven't been buying a lot of hers recently because she keeps putting out books, and I know that, and I want to support her, but I'm kind of getting to the point with a lot of even my favorite artists that I'm like, okay, I have to color more in your books to justify me buying more of your books, because as beautiful as they are, I just can't keep buying books if I'm not coloring in them at the very least. So Vacation Miniatures might be my favorite Camellia Andrikova book. I think I have, this one's on track other than 50 Jungle Miniatures to be the one I've done the most in. So I've got the first few pages done, so we might just continue on with this and I'll do this guy. I think a blue tiger seems fun. I might texture up the sail a little bit with some sort of stencil pattern. Blue tiger. And this will get me started. I don't know what it is, but any picture with water and waves like this really intimidates me because I just don't feel like it looks easy when I see somebody else doing it, but then I think about doing it and it makes me like, I don't know why, I'm just not, I gotta get in practice of doing that. But I at least want to do one. I'm not in love with that page, so we might just skip over that one. But I want to do more, and these are fairly easy. I could just use markers and stencils, use glossy accents or gel pens, you know, just, these are not super intricate pages for me, or I don't make them that way. It's not my strategy, just because I want these to be more laid back for me. So there's that. I do want to continue in my Disney Hatchet Heroes Cats book. You want an easy starter Hatchet Heroes color by number where you have big spaces to color and it's not a ton of intricate details. This is a great book to get. Actually, I think this is the Spanish version. I'm not quite sure. I think I might have gotten this one off Amazon before I found Lyrica. I'm going to show you a few of the completed images. But look, like, these are not detailed. You have a lot of big, wide areas to fill in, which can be hard with like the little Languile gel pens and stuff, but if you have like those pump acrylic markers or acrylic paint even, they work really good for those spaces. So this is a great, if you like cats, this is a great book that really you can see even on the pages. There's not a lot of detail. So I've been working in this one front to back, trying different things. So now I want to work on the next one, which I believe is Scar. It's been a long time since I've touched this book, so want to get back to that. I've been just chomping at the bit to get into those books, and it's just, there's so many books I want to get into, and like, I could just never quite find the time for those. Simple Spring by Alexander Franzese. I have not colored in this yet. I at least want to do one page before we get to summer, so there might be more, but at the very least, I'm going to do this cute little frog picture. Again, these are very relaxing marker extras with like a light outline to a hint of a background. I might do more in here, but I do know I at least want to do that little froggy. This is a maybe. This really, I want to be My first Joshua Dunbar book I complete because I really love this book. I keep pulling him off camera. Sorry. It's fantasy. I love fantasy. Um, I don't know if I'll do this front to back because this page feels like a lot right now. This page feels like some details. This page feels like some details. So we're going to go the first page that I feel like is pretty straightforward. I'm thinking, you know, watercolors and pastel pencils or colored pencils on the top. Probably not marker, but maybe marker. But usually I really enjoy doing his pages with either a marker base or a watercolor base with the pastel pencils on top. So thinking this one. I might make the castle pink. Like I'm thinking like Princess Peach kind of castle, maybe. Just to make it a little different. But other than that, just chilling. This video's running long. I'm going, one of these days, I'm just going to bite the bullet like I did with Leon's Journey. I'm just going to do it. Tammy and I still have this to do. And I have an idea in my head of what I'm going to do here. Though now I have another idea of what I could do. The sky is going to be a watercolor base. And if I could at least just get a base, it'd be something. But I kind of want to do, I've envisioned a sunset sky, kind of a pink or cherry blossom tree here. Coming up with some different colors for the cats. Obviously he's got orange. But the big thing is filling in some texture. So I would like to fill in like some little blades of grass. I think here maybe some texture ideas for the different trees and everything. Maybe the water effect that I've seen in a lot of places here. Just creating a little bit because this feels very like flat. But yeah, if I can get the watercolor base in there, I have two ideas I could do with the trees. Actually, I may stick with my original plan, which is going to be either through a stencil or through my own. I'm thinking I'm going to create like a little leaf pattern stencil, if you will, through here. And the leaves will be like lighter colors with like a darker watercolor background or something. And I might achieve that with paint pens. Get like a nice stencil with like a leaf pattern, really smaller detailed leaf pattern, and do those in a lighter maybe paint pen over the darker watercolor. And then go over those lightly with like a Languile gel pen or something just to give you that leaf texture, just to create some texture there. That's kind of the idea. And then on the trees and bushes, I've seen people creating like the kind of bushy looking pattern using kind of like a dotted technique. And I could achieve that with like water-based markers or paint pens. I'd really like to do different colors here like a sunset. But I have no idea how this page is going to, I don't know if I need to treat this before I put watercolor on it. I'm going to think about it. But we're going to get, I'm not going to say it's going to be done. We're going to get started. We're going to get started, dang it. Dang it. Naughty Cats. This is just a fun book to just put color to, try maybe some of the new textures and patterns that I see come about. I really want to do this page because he just looks so pissed off, and that just gives me gives me so much joy. But I'm just thinking cute pinky little bubbles. Maybe this gives me a chance to play with some bubbles, some water texture. I'm going to probably put some kind of light pattern on the walls, something here. We could try, you know, there's a lot of tile patterns out there. I could put like a little bit of a tile backsplash here and then just have solid wall above it. But I'm thinking him. I don't know, when I was flipping through it earlier, that was the one. That one, this one maybe, and this one are actually probably the ones that draw me in the most. But we're going to stick with Bubble Dude and, you know, those others, hopefully. Joshua Dunbar, again, Cute Guy Moments. Is this his latest release? I want to do this cover page. I actually really love that Afghan design. So here's what I'm thinking. If you saw my Christmas Cuties picture, what's funny, now he doesn't have the curtains here, but that, where that cat's laying looks very similar to this, only without the curtains. And so what I'm thinking is this is going to be my starting point for my color palette, is I'm going to color this very similar to how I colored this, and then carry that green and kind of yellow and maybe some of the blue into the rest of the room. I'm thinking, I don't know for the sofa. It really depends. Like, this might be the blue plaid. I might use the colors here because I really like these colors to make this like a blue plaid. And then if I do that, the couch should be pretty neutral. If I do that, I wonder if I should just stick with the dark blue over here instead of the green. I don't know. We'll see, but like this is my starting off point for this page. I probably won't do much in terms of creating any patterns on his shirt or anything. I might create some like casual guy kind of wallpaper where it's like a light diamond pattern or something on it just to give a little more texture up here. But that's kind of what I'm thinking there. So I have an idea. It's just the time to execute it. Kingdom Life, I do want to color in one of these Whirly art books. And so I actually think I'm going to do this page. It's very cute. I can play around with the stone pattern, maybe the trees, maybe a little bit of grass there. I'm not going to go too crazy with this. I feel like it's a pretty detailed picture on its own, so maybe like the trees, a little bit more of obvious stone here, and then maybe a few more little blades of grass or something there. Like I said, no need to go fully textured on that, but that is, we're just gonna start with the title page on that one. And finally, I thought about Lovely Year, which, well, is not my most recent Linko Filanenko book. I got two more that I'm going to show you Wednesday that are artist editions. But I thought, let's go back to Hello Spring. I love this cute little hedgehog right here. And I actually love the colors here. So I'm thinking I either make this one very similar to this front of the page. So I may work on this one. But I also really like this one with the fox. So I'm going to pick one. I don't know which one. I like to say I do both, but I'm going to at least do one. And the reason I love her artist editions, I'll show you. I did this one during Watercolor Summer last year. Super colors in the background and Artisto pencils in the front, and it just turned out. The paper was a dream to work on. It really is. Like, I absolutely love it. So there you go. Like I said, you're probably thinking this is more like what she's got planned for all summer. And you know the stack's going to change. But we're going to say a couple months because we know the stack's going to change here in a couple months. That is very uneven stack. I better take care of that. All right. So there are the coloring tags, the project pages, and hopefully I can color in some or all of these books for the next couple months. For this week, I have a couple Linko Filanenko books, as I mentioned, to flip through Wednesday. Don't know what I'm doing next weekend yet. We got to get to next weekend first. Maybe a color and chat. I don't know. I have some different things I want to do this month, but a lot of it's going to depend on time, and we'll just see how it goes. So hope you enjoyed, and talk to you soon. Bye for now.